In this video, I'm going to show you how to use adjustment layers, along with duplicating and erasing to create quick and dirty changes and transitions between different changed areas. So, first thing that you're really going to want to do is check your layers palette and make sure that whatever you're working on, you can make changes to it. So that means clicking on it and changing it to a rasterized layer. Then the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy and then paste in place, or you're going to duplicate the layer by dragging it into the layer, the new layer palette. This way we have a copy. So what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to come up to Image and Adjustments, and I'm going to change the top layer. Let's make this, I'm going to play with the brightness and contrast. I'm going to bring the brightness down. I'm going to up the contrast a little bit, and I think I want it even darker than this. So I'm going to do it once more. I'm going to come to Image, Adjustment, Brightness and Contrast. I'm going to dip it down even further. And I think I want to play around, and I'm going to change the hue and saturation. And I'm going to drop the saturation so it's more black and white. I like that. So you can see in my layers palette, I have one that's completely dark and one that's completely light. The next thing that you're going to want to do is come over to your tools and then change to your eraser, or use quick button E. Remember, the eraser is a brush like any other brush. It just is a brush that removes things. So make sure that you're on your correct layer, and you can adjust the settings up in the top. Right now I have it at opacity at 100, and I have a brush with 52% hardness. I'm going to drop this down so it's nice and soft. And I'm going to make kind of a larger brush. What's nice about this method is that you can erase away sections and reveal sections beneath. And you can have a lot of fluidness to how you're going to use certain sections, as well as how you paint around it. Because really, it's just emptiness of one layer that's then showing a layer that's almost identical except for the adjustments that you've made. Right now, I think this looks a little bit silly, but I can play around with this, bring down the opacity some, create some transitions so that it feels more smooth, make my brush kind of big. And we can do a very painterly sort of style of adjustments. It's a little bit messy, but it kind of gets the job done to a degree. I think there's a lot of other methods that are really nice, but this has some funness in which we can play around with. You might have to right-click and merge layers down if you want to, or put them into a group folder so that you know that they're all functioning together and they're all going to come to work together. But that is one way of using separate layers and erasing through one layer to use adjustments.